Hello again. Today, I want to offer a 2-week update on what lasting changes, if any, have occurred since my consuming of 12 grams of penis MB over a 2-day period. I want to emphasize that anything I choose to put in my temple, I consider deeply upon. That includes food and beverage, and I feel that is how it should be. Therefore, I will also encourage that same consideration in others. So my sharing of my choice to use psilocybin as a teacher and tool does not come lightly, and I want to be clear for anyone hearing this that there are definite, long-lasting effects. For me personally, all the apparent effects upon myself I will still classify with the fantastic label. And I mean by that absolutely everything about the experience, during and after, has seemed to be completely positive and even unexpectedly profound. I have certainly had my share of profound experiences in my life to compare it to, so I don't say that lightly either. And what I'm calling profound for me currently is the steady stream of amazing clarity in spiritual practice, which I had a harder time of communicating before. Not that I did much talking about it before, to be honest. I kept most of it close to the vest. But now it's like a flower has blossomed within, and I feel almost compelled to write and record on video all these thoughts. So all my inner training that I felt was deeply personal before now seems like it has to be shared. Where it gets a little blurry to communicate is what to attribute to the psilocybin and what to attribute to intention and one's active spiritual practice. So the basic guidelines I follow are thus. Set and setting have certain importance. You need to certainly feel safe and be sure not to be interrupted by calls, guests, or family. Even more important is one's intention. Set and setting are how you choose your outer environment. Intention is how you prepare your inner environment. It could almost be seen like preparing both the cause and effect. And we should know how important it is to deal with the realm of cause versus effect. And now, 2 weeks later, my mental focus is still quite enhanced. Is it permanently changed? Time will tell. Writing about all these human challenges has never been so clear and easy. All the content for these videos has been just flowing into my mind without any real effort. I just listened. Before my trip, I would have higher thoughts and feelings surface momentarily, bring deep feeling with them. Then it would feel like I would just melt into the feeling and let it take me away. Instead of fully seeing these trains of thought and the vast array of their implications. I could compare it to the experience of being on a boat and looking down into the water. Normally, it's difficult to see clearly through the surface due to glare. However, putting on polarized glasses suddenly make the clarity in the water superb. It feels a bit like that. Now, please do not think you will have identical results. I believe each individual's life focus, level of discipline, state of mind, and certainly the feelings they entertain on a daily basis all play a huge role in what will occur. I also believe psilocybin to be a teacher, along with other natural plants in the world. It seems that we are taught what we need to know if you have developed a capacity to pay attention. So no two persons' experiences will be the same. Another very important aspect of substance use I want to impart is moderation. Do not cling to the teacher. Do not develop a dependency. Constant use of any substance will only turn you into a slave. And that includes caffeine and sugar. Take the lessons you are shown and figure out how to make them permanent in your life without the need of repeated substance use. For example, earlier in my life I had a lot of pot-smoking friends. I partook a little here and there, but my voice within taught me to have moderation early, but also it showed me the truth of learning to embody the best from one's experience, like the relaxation aspect from pot, the lowering of anxiety, the quieting of the mind. These are the lessons I chose to make a permanent part of my constant life experience without any need of a substance now. I learned from the teacher and moved on to the next lesson. Don't keep repeating elementary school your whole life. Move on. You're just getting started. Even when we eventually reach the level of Jesus, we will still be just getting started. For when we ascend into perfection, it could be likened to graduating from university, and now we're finally ready and responsible enough to enter the workforce in service to universal love. I can't emphasize this enough. Look how many are now slaves to marijuana and require daily use. Using things as a band-aid to smooth over effects of causes is not a wise path. Go to the root of the cause. Everything in existence has a cause. It has to. It could be a collection of multiple causes, long-standing habits, ways of thinking about life that are erroneous, whatever. If the true cause of an unwanted daily experience is not rooted out, then you will be caught in a loop of suffering. Not only is it expensive, but also unpleasant. Not a wise place to be. This is unfortunately the sad state of current medicine. A large portion of the medical industry is completely tied to the pharmaceutical machine that keeps popping out this pill and that pill to try and deal with the world of effect. The pills of the pharmaceutical world do nothing but band-aid over or suppress the realm of effect. They do nothing to solve the root of the issue. Again, all solutions in life are to be found by earnestly understanding your power of causation. So natural psychedelics seem to have unique properties when compared to lab-created varieties. I have experienced liquid LSD twice, and that was enough for me. It certainly felt more synthetic within, and also felt like it took a long time to get out of my system. That was 30 years ago, a lifetime it feels, and I will never put any powdered lab-made drug in my system. I have always had that stance. You just don't know what you're getting for one, but for me there is just no comparison to the seeming warm embrace from a whole natural earth-grown psychedelic in its clean departure from the body when the lesson is over. I can also confirm, at least with peyote and psilocybin, that there is no desire to abuse it, and really they can't be. The built-up resistance eternally to their effects takes a while to dissipate after a large dose. And as far as I know, they are impossible to overdose on. As far as I know. So for anyone that feels compelled to have a lesson from these teachers, I can recommend the naturals above all else. I'm going to go now one step further in how I view the potential benefits of psilocybin in particular. First, some history. Psychedelics have been discovered by alternative archaeology versus mainstream archaeology to have permeated Greek culture. Greek-inspired religious sites have been found in the hundreds all over their old sphere of influence, and lab results of residue in bowls and chalice show clear results. It appears psychedelics played a huge part in providing a rite of passage to many Greek citizens. That may have played a role in their massive renaissance of art, building, invention, and great thinkers of the time. And now, my own perspective is it may be one of the most important tools we have at our disposal today to repair the damage of social media abuse, televised programming, political nonsense, and traumas of every kind. I know this is quite a sweeping statement, and of course there are a host of individual factors to consider. But the experience one can potentially have on demand, that is, on demand, of a deep connection to all things can override many traumatic events, reduce the severity of depression, which I sense has a component of isolation, and offer a renewed feeling of well-being, like being an integral component of the universe. And the most important part of the entire experience is its objectivity, the ability to see oneself and world from a non-ownership perspective, again, like being an actor or the director of a movie. This has also been termed the ego death, part of a psychedelic experience. This is the method in which great change can happen for people. And for those already on a clear and healthy path, it certainly can lead to higher inspiration and clarity of purpose, as I personally have experienced. I'm starting to feel a bit like a salesman here. I'm not a proponent of drug culture by any means. Whatever attainment I have achieved has been while sober. But I also cannot deny the seeming zero negatives and all the apparent benefits of psilocybin used in a highly intentional manner. The last thing I will say is that if anyone is experiencing a form of depression or trauma, I would highly recommend looking into a good heroic journey with a trusted guide before relying on the prescribed drugs being pushed today. I speak of this from personal trauma, by the way. My life had certain experiences that catapulted me to near suicide at the age of 13. But my uncle had sent me a book. It sat on the shelf for a few years, actually, until in a very dark moment, I heard and listened to a quiet voice inside. It directed me to the book in which I read. The main thing this book did for me was stimulate a desire to find my own master, a true teacher of knowledge. They are out there if you want them. They don't advertise. And you won't find them on any social media. That's all for now. Journey courageously.